when you think back to the last year, what bugs were most memorable? We're gonna make 3 changes based on your desire. What would those be? So you could do a 4,000 damage cleaver. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Frostcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about all of the bugs of Frostborn, how, whether or not Frostborn was ready for global, what the devs should do about all of these bugs. Obviously, they're trying to fix it. They haven't come out with any big updates yet. It seems like they're working on it, but what else should they do? There's a lot of angry players out there right now. There's a lot of happy players out there, but what are we going to do with all of these bugs? So in this Frostcast episode, I have for you guys a European pro. He has been playing this game since the closed beta. So a lot of you guys are in that same place, but he's a pro at this game. If you guys have seen some of our European pro videos, you can see that these guys know what to do, when to do, and what things. So he's been here for a while. He knows a lot about the game, and so I'm going to be picking his brain on some of these bugs, what the devs have done in the past for similar bugs, what we should do and what we should expect as we go on with Frostborn. So, hey Josh.
All right.
Yeah, so let's start out and just kind of inform some of the players on some of the bugs that are going on in Frostborn right now, as since global has been released, bugs that are currently in the game.
One of the most recent bugs is the invisibility bug. It's basically where it can be in a zone or even at your base. Your teammates or an enemy team, like someone from an enemy team, they will go invisible so you're not able to see them and they can attack you and you can't attack them. So it's quite overpowered. It's easily fixed, but a lot of players don't know how to fix it. All you need to do to fix it is zone in and out off the app, just
explain that. So what do you mean by zone out and in of the app?
Okay, so I don't know how to explain it. It's pretty basic. You know how you've got your line of apps where you swipe them off. You just tap the tab button and then just go on another app and then back on Frostborn and then you can see the players again.
Got it. So in order to fix that mistake, where you can't see the players that are shooting you, you need to completely close out of the game, make sure that the game doesn't have it running in the background, and then log back in, and then it'll be fixed.
Wait, no, it can run in the background. You just need to go off the app and back on it really fast. So just go to your home screen or go on another app and go back on it.
Okay, so it doesn't even have to be completely closed out. I'm sure if it was, it would also fix it, right?
Yes.
Got it. So if they close out of the app, or just switch to another screen and then come back in, it'll reload the people and I'll show them correctly.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know. That's going to help a lot of players. A lot of players have been getting raided and they didn't know how to defend. And so now that you're telling them how to fix it, that's going to help a lot of players.
Yep. Another bug which is going on right now, they might have kind of fixed it, but it still can occasionally happen. If you enter a pendant chest room, this happened to us, if you enter a pendant chest room, you can just disconnect from the game. And if you're short on time, with the Odin's cooldown, and you can't get back into the game, because sometimes it'll not let you get back in, then you can lose your stuff in Odin's before it resets. So that's quite a bad bug to experience.
So say that again. So if you enter in a pendant chest, and then you log off the game.
It kicks you off the game sometimes. So
that's right. Yes. I am familiar with that. So sometimes it just kicks you straight to servers, or it kicks you out of the game, and you can't get back. Now, I've been able to fix that by completely by getting out of the game and then waiting the 15 seconds until my character logs off, and then I can log back in. And then I am able to. I start back at the gate of Odin's. I have to walk all the way. It's annoying, but at the same time, I am able to, with just 15 seconds of being logged off, able to get back into the game.
It depends on who it is, really. For me, I've had it so I can't get into the game for 15-20 minutes afterwards, and it's not really the greatest you don't have much time. But yeah, it's not as major as some of the other bugs.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, what are some of the other bugs?
There's still problems. This isn't really in game, but there's still problems with raid notifications. I've seen people in the official Frostborn like just talking about this bug because they've been raided and they don't know to come online. Like some people don't understand they need to stay online after they've started the raid timer, or they don't realize they've got raid and it starts itself, and they've been attacked and it doesn't give them the notification, so they've had their stuff taken and they haven't even had a chance to defend. So
Got it. So raid notifications. Yeah, that's bothering a lot of people. So part of the reason I even made this episode about this topic right now is I'm probably getting 5 plus, sometimes up to 20 messages a day on Discord from people complaining I lost my stuff from a certain bug, or I have this different problem, which I get, a lot of messages a day. So that may sound like, I get messages saying, tons of messages saying, I just love Frostborn. So, I get a mixture there. I don't want to make it sound like it's all bad, but this is definitely something that's on people's mind. They're very frustrated that they're experiencing some of these bugs.
there's also some serious disconnection problems and just general server lag. In Odin's, if you're up against, say, a stone giant, you can't afford to have that type of lag, because if you get hit by its special attack, it's when it hits the ground with the rock, you're literally dead right there. And if you say either lag out or lag into that, your stuff disappears after 10 minutes. And often I've found once you lag out once, you can't actually get back into the game after that. So if you've been killed in Odin's, there's only a 10-minute timer on your bag. So if you disconnect and can't get back into the server after being like lagged into a stone giant's stun, then you're gonna lose your stuff. And it's not just little, before I was playing on NA and my leader lagged into a stone giant and he had a bunch of pendants on him, like 30 wood and 30 silver, and he couldn't get back into this game. His bag disappeared and he lost all that. And that one is terrible, especially in Odin's.
Yeah, it has definitely changed the way that I've done Odin's, because one of my favorite things in Odin's is to carry all my pendants in my backpack with me, because you can feel that advancement. Every time you get a pendant, it adds to that number. You see it getting close to that 30. You kind of can taste the reward you're going to get. And I also used to have my level 3 bag that I was just like, I don't die as much, especially when I'm solo. I don't, it's a grind, but I don't die a whole lot in. But now I'm like, this is nerve-wracking. I don't want to, because it's not just about losing some durability on your level 3 bag. Now it's like if something goes wrong and you can't get in the game for 10 minutes, which almost never happens to me, but if it only has to happen once to lose a level 3 bag permanently. Really, I'm more speaking for other people. For me, I don't have as many lag problems as others. So,
like, I think they're assuming with that 10-minute one that a lot of people do have not much lag, but they got to take into effect some people don't have always the best internet or the best phones. So maybe removing that 10-minute thing, or just adding it for longer, like an hour or a couple hours, would be better.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I just want to do a real quick shout out as we keep going in through these different questions and listing these different bugs, how to fix some of them. I just want to make with this Frostcast episode, any of you guys are welcome to join us here. Obviously, if you just find us here, like most of these people, they just found us here. But I personally invite and try to get all of the people that are supporting the JCF team. In order to make these videos every day for you guys, we've got about 10 people working on different aspects of thumbnails and videos and editors. And right now, Lord Toa is one of these supporters of that team. He ironically is also one of the team members. There's 4 other people that are supporting. You have to support at least $5 a month. But once you do, I will personally, invite you to that group and try to coordinate with your schedules. We're still working it out, but eventually we're hoping to have everyone that is a supporter around here, and that will be the start of the circle. And then anyone that finds us afterwards can join. But you won't know when it is. It'll just be a random occurrence that you might find. And so if you want to support the team, if you like these videos and you want to support these 10 awesome people that are making this content for you guys, then just message me, or there's a link to Patreon in the pin post, or you can message me or Bake on my Discord, and we'll get you coordinated. We'll make sure that you are connected with us, and we'll get you in on these Frostcast episodes. In fact, Joseph is actually listening. Laura Toa is actually listening to this as we're recording it, and that's another perk that we're giving to those that are supporting this team. So, okay, it looks like another one of the supporters is going to try to join, though at this point, there's already so much of a crowd that's kind of gathered on their own, and so we'll see if it actually works out. So, Joseph, if you don't mind saying thanks to that person for me, just tell them I can't chat right now. Let's keep going on the different bugs that are experiencing right now.
So obviously Odin's is basically a high place for bugs. A lot of them occur there. There's a few small ones. So there's currently a new one where you can. I'm not entirely sure how to do it. I've heard a rumor. You can go down to a floor in Odin's without getting the key, which is quite overpowered considering to get like say a forge key, you'd have to clear most of floor 2 to actually get it.
Got it.
There's another bug with Stone Giant. I've experienced this myself, where it's skill. The Stone Giant is one of the most annoying mobs in the game. Its skill will go through walls, which I'm not entirely sure if that's how it's meant to be, but for me it doesn't really make sense because no other skills really go through walls. But...
Yeah, I mean the devs have always I think that it is a mistake, but it's a common mistake that I've seen in several iterations of Frostborn with the Stone Giant skill in particular. In fact, there was one bug where when it would hit one team member, it would do an explosion where it would hit everyone within like a couple tiles of that team member. So you could be way away and your teammate get hit and it would end up one-shotting the whole team. So that was there's been a lot of those things over the time. So you're saying right now a Stone Giant can hit you through the wall?
Yes. Yeah, that is quite annoying, and usually it would happen with lag, but just be careful when you go around a wall. Don't think you should be able to avoid it even if you pass the wall, so just keep that in mind.
Okay, that's good to know.
This is quite controversial, but I actually think the illusionist, you can reset things with the illusionist. It's not a bug.
Yeah,
not a bug.
It's not a bug. It's designed.
It's a very good aspect, but I feel like it's a bit overpowered currently. It would take time, but using the illusionist, you could technically clear the whole of Odin's by sneaking with spears. And I suppose it's not a bug, but it doesn't actually state in the, I believe in the description of the illusionist that it resets the enemies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the beauties of the illusion. I actually love the way the devs set it up because, it's still a grind. It's still a big grind because, if you switch to the spear, all your skills are going to reset. You only have so much time. So, yes, you can do that and you can, keep just getting sneak attacks over and over again. In fact, a team of 3 illusionists and a rogue with a fire dagger is going to be, is just super overpowered. You get the fire dagger maximum sneak attack. You can do up to, my main account can do almost 1,000 damage to an enemy. And then you've got, if you have 3 teammates as illusionists, you can literally reset 6 times. You can pretty much constantly be resetting. And so it's sneak attack, 1,000 damage each. And then you go repair the fire dagger. But getting a fire dagger, getting a rogue, getting 3 illusionists, that requires, a team working together. And ultimately, at that point, you can do Odin's for free, but you worked well as a team together. the way you're suggesting it is even cheaper, but that's a pretty big grind. And I think the devs have kind of implemented stuff like that in the game. It's like, well, yeah, you can do this and basically get an amazing thing, but it's probably going to make you require quite a bit of grinding. Like the fact that we can kill stone giants by resetting, using their skills over and over again, or the drow sorcerer, you can kill him with the spear because it's a grind, but you can do it. And so,
There is also a bug which is quite annoying as well within Odin's, where if you say you aggro too many mobs at once or monsters and you're by yourself and you don't have illusionist equipped, you may have to, run up to the floor and go up to floor 1 to reset them. But sometimes, I've experienced this myself as well, like a wood giant or a stone giant would be stuck by the entrance, and as soon as you re-enter back into the floor, you'd be killed instantly. So
yeah,
again, that's a durability loss.
That's a good point. So I think that might be a bug, but I actually kind of like it because it's really easy to fix. All you do is basically it only happens if you reset the giants when they're far away and they're going to have to pass by the entrance to the second floor. And so if you reset them when they're right next to the door, they'll disperse. And then if you go down there naked after, if like you reset them and they're probably going to be by the door, which I'm like, oh yeah, this now that I know how it works, I'm like, okay, then I just go down there naked, they kill me, and then they disperse. If you die at base, the chat is bugged until you leave the base.
Yeah, I've experienced that one.
The moose stuck in the corner of the map don't react when they get hit or seen by players. So there seems to be some kind of invisible bug where the moose can, or an invisible wall that the moose cannot pass, and they can just get stuck for a while. So according to someone, sometimes when opening a pendant room, the player can just spawn at base, which
that is one. Yeah, I've had that happen.
You've had that happen? So I've only had it happen to where it kicks me out to the servers. But
sometimes that can actually happen, not just when you're opening pendants. If you say go down to floor 2, or like you can actually end up at your base. Just doesn't even make any sense.
Gorm doesn't give any tournament points. Not sure if that's a bug or just, because I'm pretty sure none of the Cursed Town gives any tournament points. Entomb stuck in a chest. Apparently they can get stuck in a chest. I haven't seen it. You were mentioning a lot of Odin's stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Dragon second floor moving around after being reset. If you use automatic mode in the second floor of Odin, sometimes the character will get stuck in a wall. I did not realize that one. So you can get completely stuck.
I'm not familiar with that one.
All right. Now here's one that I think people really like. You can use food or drink and then press put all or take all at the same time that you're trying to use it, and you get a you get a heal while you which honestly, food is so you have so many, you don't really need it
too much.
So that's not really that helpful, but it's still fun to know about it. Did we talk about this one? The bug that the players can't do anything, not even leave the stone, and just have to restart the game?
Yeah, that is pretty much like a disconnection. Like, if you lag out, you won't be able to do anything until you restart. So it's basically just another connection problem.
Got it. Can people kill you during that time, or are you just kind of like
I think they can kill you until like there's a period of time once you've closed the game that you'll still be there. So yes, but it'll only be a short period of time. Okay, so apparently there's a bug where you can target someone in green mode while you're in green mode, but it doesn't actually attack them. It just looks weird. It looks like you're targeting them. When tournament ends, you see old tournament message. I don't think players are really that bothered by that one. Those are small things. Every game has stuff like that. Those are not that big of a deal. And Frostborn has been pretty good about fixing stuff like that, in my opinion. Yeah, people need to understand, the new players, that it used to be a lot worse in terms of bugs. Like since globals came, they've actually got rid of most of them. But yeah, they just need to think about that before they.
So when you think back to the last year, what bugs were most memorable of like, okay, this is
Right. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. There was firstly a PvP bug which is way overpowered. You could basically, you know how you could throw a throwing cleaver and they didn't have a cooldown. They used to not have much cooldown. You could place a trap, and at the same time you threw a cleaver. It would then stack the damage from that cleaver, and then if you keep doing that, it keeps stacking the damage of a cleaver until you could throw. Basically, until you stop placing the trap, you could throw one cleaver, which could say do 4,000 damage at once. It stacks the damage of a cleaver. It's really overpowered.
I don't remember that one. So you could do a 4,000 damage cleaver. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, people were like stacking it, one shot in Hell's Envoy. I got killed by it many times. People in zones. I had full gear on. They'd just sit in a corner naked, cleaver and trap, spam it. When someone ran up to you, you just got one shotted. It was completely broken.
That is, I did not know. So, you know, I'm just to let people know about my opinion on bugs. You know, being just a gamer my whole life, I was definitely not a YouTuber until, you know, just 3 years ago. Before I was a YouTuber, my mentality on bugs was, you know, if you can get away with a bug on PvE, then go for it. I mean, as long as you're not manipulating game files, as long as you're not trying to, you know, as long as you're using what the devs have given us, you can do whatever you want for PvE. Now that I know a lot more devs and I know how much it annoys them, I'm starting to be a little bit more like nuanced. I don't know, maybe it's a problem, but when it comes to PvP, I've never been. It just feels wrong to use a bug to kill someone and take all their stuff when you're cheating. I mean, you're like, if you're cheating against Hell's Envoy, I'm like, well, the devs need to fix that. Hell's Envoy is a representation of the devs, and so I'm like, go for it and see if enough people do it, the devs will start fixing it. But when you start doing it for cheating and to kill other people and take the stuff they worked for, I've never been cool with that.
There was another bug where if you disconnected your internet or data and went back on the game fast and reconnected it, you could play the game without actually being in it. So you could go around Odin's and sneak everything without aggroing anything. So you could fist the whole of Odin's, like the whole of Forge. You could also do it in PvP. The enemy wouldn't be able to aggro onto you, and you could just kill them. It was extremely overpowered, and it was actually in the game for a few days.
Wow.
Before they fixed it, and everyone was just like fisting the whole Forge, like just doing the Forge with a fist. So it's crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, here's another bug that's been reported to me. When enemies die in family, it only sends a message when they are KO. So I guess that means that it doesn't say they're down, maybe. And then if you reset an explosive Draugr, whatever, in the Forge, its body can get glitched. And then the Ice Mage spell only gives the damage boost, doesn't activate the 15-second timer to leave the zone. Interesting. So you can use the Ice Mage spell right now, the ice wall to lock someone, but then you can still exit within 5 seconds. So
yeah, I've seen that.
That's clever, man. People find them. If there is a bug, the players will find them and they will use them to their advantage. See, that one I don't know if I'm as bothered by. If you can use a bug to escape another player, it gets real gray area, but I'm sometimes fine with it.
Yeah, as long as the bug isn't affecting, someone else's experience. I prefer if people didn't do it altogether, but it's better if it doesn't affect anyone else.
Yeah, that's where it gets to gray area because it does affect. They didn't get the kill, theoretically. Yeah. So okay, well, what do you think? What do you think the devs should do, and what do you think the devs are going to do?
Talking from past experiences.
Yeah.
they would like you to, they like you when you report the bugs, but I've had like literally I've bought packs from the shop and haven't got certain things like stuff like that, or that one-shot cleaver bug. I've died to that. I've noticed if you ever ask them for actual items back, you never actually get them, which I guess I can understand, because if you did ask for items in support that you claim you'd lost, you'd have a bunch of players every single day just asking for stuff. But I find that in terms of bugs, they do a pretty good job fixing them, but they don't often compensate for the stuff you've lost.
Yeah,
I feel like they'll carry on doing that.
That's been my experience with Kefir as well. When I play other games, like just recently I was into Eve Echoes, and basically they just had an allotment. Once a month your account could say, I want this, this was a bug. And they'd be like, all right, here's your ship back. And so they'd give, really expensive ships. If you lost a ship, they'd be like, all right, here it is. Here it's back. And that was part of their system, is they just assumed that there was going to be bugs and you were only allowed to ask for a certain amount a month per account. Yeah. And so that was their way of like, so if you played a lot of people that I knew that played a lot, they'd be like, well, I experienced bugs that caused me to die 4 times this month, but they were still happy that they were able to be compensated at least one of those times. It appeased a lot. So I wonder if Kefir should change their mindset a little bit, because I've noticed it really does help players if there's some compensation. But I agree with you, that has not been their general disposition. And I think they think, that we should just kind of expect to lose stuff to bugs sometimes, and just, keep surviving, keep grinding through it.
Yeah, a lot of people need to understand why they can't just give out stuff whenever they want. It would be a bit stupid, because unless there's a lot of these bugs, I don't think they actually trigger anything in like the code, that they're looking at. So they can't actually tell whether you're telling the truth in terms of a bug that happened to you. So people gotta know, unless it comes to actual buying things from the shop and you have a problem with that, then they can't really give anything back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and it requires a lot of service power, to like Eve Echoes does that, but I mean they're talking about responding to so many different requests, so many different things. I mean that takes manpower to do all that, and I just wonder. I wonder if it's worth it. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe just Kefir's like, oh, we'll just make things easier, and then which. Frostborn is theoretically easier if you're good at the game. Like, it's harder if it takes more skill, but if you're good at the game, it's easier to get rich and get the best items in the game. I mean, you can go get a fire bow free to play, whereas you can't. You can't go get an ATV in Last Day on Earth free to play. Maybe if you grinded for 10 years, you might get there, and they're gonna make it easy. I don't know. I haven't played in so long that maybe they've already made it easier. But now they're gonna have the boat come out, so it's like, well, Frostborn hasn't done that. They have made it to where, other than the repair table, which is pretty upfront, you're gonna have to buy this. That's the only thing that is not really accessible to free-to-play players, and they give you a really crappy version of the repair table to free-to-play and pay-to-win players in town, which is something.
I also think that Frostborn do have a bit of a manpower problem, like the amount of people they've got, the amount of staff they've got available to manage the support after global, because I think a lot of people are annoyed that their support messages isn't being answered fast. Like, for example, I've lost my my North American account, and I've been waiting for a response from support since last Wednesday, so it's almost been a week. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're a bit overrun with bug reports and stuff right now to actually respond, but I think they're doing the best.
Yeah, I've noticed the devs get real quiet when there's a lot of bugs and stuff. I can tell that they're working really hard to fix it all. Yeah. And they don't spend time chatting and talking, whereas when things are going well, they might be like, up for chatting. they're like, no,
Yeah.
now we're getting stuff done. We're getting that work done. And so there may be a shortage, but honestly, they come up with such amazing updates. Like, we'll see nothing for a while, and then it'll be like, boom, boom, boom. We've got like these crazy groundbreaking updates. And I'm like, well, honestly, just where the game's at, especially in the beta. I don't know about global. I'll decide as we go, but definitely in the beta, I was happy that they were spending more time on developing these amazing updates than they were on support. As frustrating as that might be, we can just, we can go get all those things we lost. There's nothing in the game that we can't go back and get except for the level 3 bag, which, again, if you lose a level 3 bag, then it's like, yes, that really sucks because there's no way to go get it. I spent money, it's gone. There's no way for me to grind and get one. I have to spend money again. Therefore, the cost is higher. And I remember with Grimsoul Survival, when the level 2 bag was only available for purchase, and this was before Grimsoul even knew I was a YouTuber. I was using my real name, and I was putting customer support, and I was like, I would lose these level 2 bags to bugs, and I was like, look, guys, I paid for that bag. I want it back, and they would, they'd give it back. But it was really annoying. And then it was interesting. As soon as they made the level 2 bag craftable, even though it was super hard to craft at the time, as soon as they made it craftable, anytime I would die to a bug, I stopped submitting support tickets because I was like, you know what? I'll just go grind one. I don't want to bother with support. I've never really ever wanted to bother with support. Just generally as a player, I wasn't big into doing like support tickets. I'll just go grind for another one. But the reason I kept doing, I probably did like 6 different tickets because every time a bug would make me lose that level 2 bag, I would be like, hey guys, like, you guys gotta fix my, I need that bag back. I paid for it, and there's no way to get it unless I pay for it. And so once they added it to the game, a way for me to grind for it, then I stopped submitting those tickets. So I don't know if that helps you, Kafir, but if you, keep that in mind. At least for me, in my experience, I was submitting 6 tickets in like 2 months, and then as soon as there was a way for me to grind it, I stopped submitting any tickets.
I don't bother with support unless it's an actual account problem. That's the only thing I really go to support for.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think most players that I know are like that. Okay, yeah. Anything else about bugs that players might want to hear about or might want to know about?
Well, it's not really to know about, but it's just a warning. Just, don't abuse bugs, especially the ones that affect other players' experiences. Obviously, don't just if you get a bug, just report it. You don't have to abuse it. That's really all we've gone over. Most of the bugs. I mean, there's a few other ones from the closed beta, but they were a long time ago, and they don't really matter as much now.
Yeah.
But, I think that's about it.
Okay. Well, as we were wrapping up, what are some of the things that what were the main things that you would change about Frostborn if the devs were like, all right, Josh, like we want to make 3 changes. We're going to make 3 changes based on your desire. What would those be?
First thing is this is going to cause, obviously you might not like this and a few other people might not, but I personally, the district system, I don't like it. From playing it, from starting a new account especially, you've got enough things going on, making new benches and stuff, and now you've got to upgrade your district, to just, unlock more crafting recipes, and I don't really like that. I wish they added another way you could get more doors. I'm not sure what that would be, but...
So I have an idea on this.
I don't really like the district, yeah.
So I have an idea on this. What if they record your district accomplishment requirements together, okay?
Yeah.
Like what you've done, or individually. So let's say I did 1 through 20, and then I joined a family, But then the whoever has the highest district is the district that your whole family shares.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then if you
Exactly.
ever split up, so let's say I did 1 through 20, and then I joined a family that was at 40, and then we did 40 through 60 together, and then
Yeah.
I go on my own. It would say, hey, you've done 1 through 20, so you're at 20 right now. You've also done 40 through 60 because you were with the family, y'all did it together, but you need to do 20 through 40 now to get back up to 60. And basically they made it to where we shared a district level. And we all worked together on it. And if we were all together, like our team, we've been there pretty much from the beginning together. So if we had gone from district level 0 to 100 as a team, the whole time staying together as a team, we would all, like if we separated, we would all have district level 100. And that way it makes it to where you don't, just exploit the system. Oh, I joined someone with 100 and now I have 100. But you're still having to be part of it, but it makes it more. And then when you join your personal district, you are joining your family district. It's not a, just each person has their own. Would you like that?
Yeah, I'd definitely prefer that.
Okay.
Because I was just saying, like, compared to before, starting off, it was a lot different, because you had to, I'd get wood, say, just to build my base at the start before, and now I have to upgrade my district at the same time, so it seems like more work if you saw them. Yeah, that'd be my first change.
I definitely think that to say just a couple more words on that, I love the bank. I love the idea of building your own altar that gives double points. A lot of people don't realize that if you build your own altar, you get double points. I love a repair table that does not cost silver. So, but it is extremely grindy and it's frustrating. The whole reason we're playing Frostborn is so we don't have to grind by ourselves, And so if it's like, oh, I hate grinding copper. Oh, I hate grinding whatever that thing is that you hate grinding, but your family's like, I love grinding copper. I love doing this. Then now if they made it a family thing, and not to mention like my wife and I are playing right now, and it's annoying having to get 2 of everything each time as we try to level up together. It's a lot of work. I mean, honestly, even if they quadrupled the requirements, which I do not like, but they still use this new method, or they increased it based on but everyone contributed to the same pool. But some people might not like that because they're like, well, I'm pulling more weight than others, and then I'd say we'll kick them out. But there's a lot of nuances there. So I think that the best way is just to make it cheaper. It's super grindy. I do like that there is something in town. There is elements of town that are like advancement. I like that the crafting menu is part of the town. In fact, it's a little OP. If you're like my wife and I's account, we're really low level and we're staying low level because we're only working on our district. And so we're getting really good stuff and we're staying so low level. And so we can raid people that can't even raid us back necessarily because they're leveling up. They don't know how to play the game. So it's pretty awesome. I definitely think that there's some strategy to it that is unique and cool. And it definitely puts a place for us to keep grinding. I just think that they need to lower the requirement of silver for the repair table because it's going to take us a long time to get to 183 or 186 or whatever it is for the repair table. All right, what's the second thing you change?
Right, another controversial one here. This has been suggested many hundreds of times, and I understand why they haven't implemented it. It's trading, but not trading in the way that we would do it. Currently you can trade by organizing it between yourselves in Discord.
Yeah.
But for me, I think they need to add a trade hub. Like even a location on the map or within here, where you can. I don't know how you'd actually do it, but say you'd put an item and someone else would put an item. And then you'd get a minute to, confirm it, and then you get another confirm message, and then you could trade those items. because I see a lot of people, one, new players don't know how to trade between themselves.
Yeah.
And another thing is, if the people, aren't verified, it's a good place to get scammed, if you're doing it on Discord or something. So
Yeah.
it's very risky. So I feel like they need to add a way within the game. I was just going to say, so people can acquire the things that they don't have.
In my mind, this is an easy solution, and honestly, it is one that will help players and make Kafir filthy rich. Silver. You make it to where you can sell with your trader. You can have, instead of like the random things you can buy on your trader, you have 5 slots that you can sell, five slots that you can sell with your trader if you unlock them, as you unlock them, and you decide how much silver you want for that item. So you go in and you find your item. Obviously, Kafir's going to have to do some work to like where we can search, and I'll see everyone selling a fire bow on our server. It looks like the highest price or the lowest price for a fire bow is 15,000 silver, whatever it is. I'm going to sell mine for 14,999. Now, and they can even keep it to where people can just buy silver. So that way, what's going to happen is all the pay to win players are going to just buy silver and look on the shop and buy whatever they want from the free to play players, who are then going to get tons and tons of silver because they're actually playing the game. And so they're like, hey, I'm going to sell I'm going to go grind for some more awesome gear, and I'm going to sell it for a crazy amount of silver. And then I have silver to repair, to do my district, to basically silver becomes the currency of the game. And this, I learned this from Eve Echoes. Basically, if you make the economy where you can just buy currency and use that to pay for items from free-to-play players who are grinding it, then what you've done is you've made it to where pay-to-win players are sponsoring free-to-play players, and that makes pay-to-win players win, that makes free-to-play players win, and obviously it makes the devs filthy rich.
Yeah, I agree, but obviously, if a free-to-play player for some reason wants to buy something, then they need to add a way to get silver a bit easier.
Well, the way to get silver easier is to sell your items that you can get, and the pay-to-win players will pay you, because pay-to-win players are gonna be super lazy, and as long as it's cheaper than the shop, like they'll spend silver on wood. They'll spend silver on, basically you're going to be competing with shop prices. And so that way a free-to-play player is like, well, I can farm the green zone and get leather strips. And then they'll sell leather strips for silver. And the pay-to-win players are like, great, I don't want to do that work. And then the free-to-play player is like, now I'm loaded with silver. Yeah, I learned it from Eve Echoes. I can't take the credit myself, but it was a pretty brilliant idea. What's the third thing you change?
My third one, I'm not entirely certain on this one as I was before, but I actually think it would be very rare to acquire this, or they need to add a new place to get this. I think you should be able to get the an orb of protection, from somewhere free to play within the game. Okay, right. So orb of protection.
So you were saying you would want them to buy an option for free-to-play players to get orbs of protection.
Yeah, like not as common, it'd be very rare, like even maybe as rare as a sledgehammer or the same. But I feel like you should either be able to get it from somewhere like Hell's Envoy or a gold chest, because some players don't have as much time on their hands to even defend. I mean, if you're a solo player and you have like work and stuff, you might not even be able to get on at certain times, and some people just complain about being raided. One of the most complained things about. So I feel like having the ability to obtain one of these and just have your base protected for a bit would be nice for certain players.
So I just had this idea based because of the juxtaposition of your second thing with the third thing, but I think again, even personal items should be able to be sold in my mindset. Even personal items should be able to be sold for silver. And so if they did that, if they made it to where personal items could be sold for silver, then then again, everything's based on the market of the game. So if a pay-to-win player is like, I know how to get extra silver, instead of buying silver, I'm going to just buy an orb of protection, and I'm going to sell it
Yeah.
to a free-to-play player who's made all this silver by, farming leather strips or whatever the thing. And then now free-to-play players can buy an endless supply of orbs of protection because it's, again, based on the economy of the game. People, pay-to-win players are sponsoring free-to-play players. Everybody, obviously, it still gives a big advantage to pay-to-win players, but we're already playing games like that. There's no chances, at least right now, of Frostborn becoming a zero pay-to-win game. And so since it's already has some pay-to-win aspects, then you might as well make it to where if you did this economy thing, it would make it to where every single item on the store was a way of, if you could sell it for silver and you made silver the economy, then every single aspect of the game could be the pay-to-win players sponsoring free-to-play players. And that would be, I think that would be a way of giving basically anything. You want to buy a repair table as a free-to-play player? Great. Find a pay-to-win player that's going to go buy a repair table for you, and then they're going to list it on the market for a certain amount of silver. You've got to grind enough of the basic resources to sell to the pay-to-win players so that you can get enough silver to then buy that free-to-play or buy that repair table, and then you got your repair table in a free-to-play way. It makes it to where you are creating, the pay-to-win players are essentially sponsoring free-to-play players. It makes them spend more money because they can get anything they want in the game that way. And for a competitive price based on what the free-to-play players are willing to grind. And so it's a pretty sweet deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. With the orb of protection, though, I feel like, currently you can't actually place the orb of protection in while you're being raided. I feel like they possibly should change that. How it would annoy certain people. I feel like they should make it so you can place the orb of protection during your raid time, and that would be my only addition to.
I would be okay with that if they made it like the diplomacy table, to where once someone enters your base, you can't add it, because
you can't.
in my opinion, it's way too OP to make it to where, hey, I did all this work raiding you, I got to the center of your base, I'm opening your massive chest, and then someone goes, orbed, you're out. And that just feels extremely pay to win. It feels wrong because I wasted all those sledgehammers, I wasted all of those, hatchets to get to that point. So I do like the fact, I actually prefer the way they have it set up right now. If you're scared of raiding and you don't watch my videos on how to protect your stuff, because the only people that they can only take what you're hoarding. I like the way that it is, in the sense that if someone is scared of raiding and they have the money to just keep buying more and more orbs of protection, they can stay protected forever. They can never get raided if they want. And if I think the devs could make it to where you could buy a package deal. 31 days of orbs for, $10. Or I don't know what it is, but basically essentially $10 a month, you could never get raided. You also couldn't raid others, because that's the whole point of the orb protection, is you can't raid others. So in my mind, it's you can pay for a subscription to play this game without raiding being part of the game. And it seems fair to me. And then if they add it to where you can sell the orbs of protection, which they'd obviously have to change that, in the sense that people would just buy the package deal and sell them for individually, which would be messed up. But they can work out all those details. The point is that if you make a global economy of silver, then you're mixing free to play and pay to win, then a free to play player who's like, I don't mind grinding billions of leather strips and selling them so I can have so much silver, and then I'll just keep my base orbed constantly, and And if that's if that's how they want to play the game, I think it's kind of dumb because they're gonna have to keep grinding to get those orbs, to get the silver to buy those orbs. But that's the freedom that they have, which I like freedom in games that I play. I like having freedom, and so that's why I'm so attracted to it. Okay, well so the 3 things that you would change, if I remember them right. So the 3 were district levels. You don't like the district level system. And then you want there to be a global trading system, and then the third one is you want free to play access to orbs of protection. So those are a really interesting one. Those are very different than the normal ones that I hear. Usually the 3 typical ones are add a free to play repair table. Maybe some people, I don't like this one, but a lot of people are like take out raid, like give the option to not raid, which we did end up kind of covering. And then the classes is another one. People don't like the grind for the classes. So those are the 3 more typical, but I think probably you playing this game for so long and kind of hearing those, you got more unique requests of your own.
I just some people need to accept, what they can't change, and it's annoying. Even though I've got a repair table on some accounts that I play, I don't, and I've moved past that and just I figure I can't do anything about it. I don't think they'll change it, so I'll think of other things they can improve on.
Well, I think they will change it, or at least I still have hope. I'm hoping that I'm wearing them down, especially about the classes. I don't think they want to change it, but I'm like, if they just separated the classes, I'm hoping that someday I'll wear them down to do it. So, all right, man. Well, guys, that was Frostcast for you guys. That is Frostbug. Josh is a pro player, and I think he logged off or on accident.
My phone ran out of battery. I was playing on.
Yeah. So, but that was Frostcast. Glad to have you guys. Thanks for joining. And if you guys liked or disliked or anything that you want the devs to know, the devs do watch these videos. And if you guys want to join the next Frostcast as one of the priority listeners and people that are going to be coordinated with to be here, like Lord Toei here, he's typing right now. If you want to join him in this circle and be invited every single time and therefore support the team that is making all this content, then message us on Discord, which the link to Discord and to Patreon is in the pinned comment of this video. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.